Hello, everyone. My name is Alana Starr, and this is another episode of Interviews. Today, I have a very, very special and unique human soul, galactic being. We call him Tata Jose, and I'm going to let him introduce his full name because he says it so much better and cooler than I do. But he's an immaculate human being, a person that is known as a global unifier and peacekeeper. He's a Mayan daykeeper. He does cacao ceremonies all over the world, sets up manifestation stations, which he'll get into later to share about what he does. But for now, I just want to welcome you, Jose. Thank you for coming on and talking to me. We have a lot of things to discuss, so please introduce yourself. Tell us your name fully, and I'd love you to tell me a little bit about your spiritual interviews. So, I was telling you before that a lot of people come into the world and they go through a series of awakening, so to say, right? So I would love to hear about how you became who you are as a spiritual leader, from the earliest time you want to start. And if you have been that way your whole life, you came in the world that way, or if there was something that clicked inside of you that helped you get that way.
Oh, Matias, thank you. My name is Jose Manik Ajpu, Munoz Raven. So I have a lot of names and a lot of nicknames, but essentially you can just call me Jose or Ajpu. I'm known as Ajpu throughout this continent, and in South America, I'm also known as the Red Jaguar. So I have many names, many nicknames too. But yes, as of right now, I've been in service for 40, yeah, 44 years. I started really doing this work when I was 9, but I was actually born into it. In the old days, to be a Mayan active or a Mayan spiritual leader, that's what it translated to English. It will be like the spiritual leader of the community. Uh, as we know, the community has gone very global now. So now we have global community where people like me come to be of service in a good way to help people remember how to be in touch with nature, how to be in touch with ceremonial space, and of course, my number one service is how to live in the eternal present through following the cosmic energies of the sacred Mayan calendars, which we have plenty of to share. But I mainly share and I teach the ceremonial calendar, the Chol'ij calendar, and also the agricultural calendar, the solar calendar, the Haab. And so, yeah, I started early in life, and through service, that very service put me all around the world, sharing messages of globalization, unity, global peace, harmony, unconditional love, happiness, and so on. But the main reason why I'm here speaking to my brothers and sisters through your channel is it's a call to action. It's a call to participate in what is really happening, going on globally, including new movements for the global education, new systems of education, and also reestablishing what we call the Mayan calendar Dreamcatcher manifestation stations.
Amazing. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. I know you have, I mean, you carry so much wisdom with you and you've touched the hearts of many people from all over the place. And you never cease to amaze me with the amount of knowledge and wisdom that you share. I know that you mentioned the calendars. And so we're talking right now about astrology, Mayan daykeeping, all the calendar systems that includes many different formats. I believe there's was it 23 calendars?
Mhm.
23
Yeah,
calendars.
yeah, we have calendars for every planet. We mainly focus, well, I focus in the ceremonial calendar, which is really based in the lyric lines from Mother Earth, between Mother Earth, the middle, and the sky. But we also have calendars for every planet. One of the most popular ones, at least in the Mayan land between Mexico City and Panama, is the Venus calendar, which I also touch on when I'm teaching. But we have calendars for Sirius A, B, and C. For the Pleiades, we have calendars for many different constellations. But among the most popular ones, we have what we call the Chol'ij, the ceremonial calendar that we have, the agriculture calendar, which is the sun calendar, very important for our ways of cultivating, harvesting, when to plant, when to harvest, what to plant, and where to plant, all of that, revolving around the universal cosmic time. And the ceremonial calendar, which is the one I share and teach mainly. But yes, we have the Venus calendar readily available for those of you who are interested in either learning any of the calendar that I teach or any of the other ones I don't teach. I can refer you to timekeepers from different parts of the world who have that wisdom, carry the wisdom in a good way, and they can share it freely too. So yeah, Venus calendar, ceremonial calendar, round calendar, uh, lots of systems that we can share and talk about. Yeah.
And they're all so important because I think that at the end of the day, there's always a common thread within these calendar systems, even if we're in the West and we're using the Gregorian calendar, or if we're using regular astrology in the Western side or Eastern or the Mayan way. It's like there's always a common thread. And like the human design, they use the I-ching on the outside and the Kabbalah system a little bit intertwined with the 12 zodiac signs. I'd love to ask you about your view about um, a lot of people struggle with understanding astrology and they kind of reject it, and I think it has a lot to do with maybe a religious aspect. And I'd like to ask you, what are your thoughts on people that don't necessarily want to integrate that into their life? Like, why do you think that there's such a pushback to understand astrology? And even though I kind of feel like a lot of the Bible is about astrology, if we actually look at it in a non-literal way.
Yeah, I like giving opinions based on different perspectives. I am what I in the circles of timekeepers or ceremonial leaders, I am what they call a master adapter. So one of the things I do is holographic analysis, which is zooming out of my very own perspective and put my shoes in different viewers. And when you do things that way, then you analyze what's really going on. And when you ask me the question, what comes to mind is religion was established to control people, right? So that's my perspective. Some people might completely disagree, and that is the truth. So I also respect the way they view. And in that way, we keep practicing the Mayan ways, which is trust the universe and respect each other. So even if they bring me the most incoherent or uh, nonsensical version of what the relationship between religion and astrology is, yeah, we still need honor that way because that is as far as people have not in their evolution and their knowledge. But if you ask me personally, then religion was invented to control people. Religion was invented to help those people who are afraid of death. And that's actually what it means in Latin is religare, which is reconnect to source. Uh, as far as 60,000 years of history through my family, we don't have a religion because we never lost that connection to source. And we are knowers and practitioners of immortality. So if there is no fear of death, there is no limit to what we can do or what we can see. But we also understand that in this planet, the human evolution and consciousness have so many different levels and many different layers of what people perceive as reality, what people perceive as the ultimate truth. So this very conversation would be probably very, very sinful if we were speaking in a country that is authoritarian and they rule by religion, which is we have plenty of that without mentioning any names. So the relationship between astrology and religion is always going to be that of psychology. You know, it's probably the only two that meet in spiritual way, but at the same time they repulse each other and they reflect each other and they bounce from each other. So just as we know that the Bible and all the other ancient scripts, they were actually visionaries and astronomers who wrote that
Right.
based on their own understanding of a particular space and time. So to me, religion and astrology and philosophy, sciences, they all revolve in a continuum spiral to the middle. And at different times in space, our minds conceive different ways of how they work in relation to each other. So by saying that, I am reestablishing to myself that when we see astrology, whether it's Vedic astrology or Greek astrology, Chinese, Tibetan, you name it, they all have value. And the more shades of ourselves we get to know, I feel it makes us a better human. So all astrologies, all religions, all philosophies have a very valuable information according to the space and time that the soul, the spirit, and the mind is walking this long road of what we call life.
Wow, well spoken, well said. Because my next question was gonna ask you about how someone can integrate the Western approach of astrology with the 12 zodiac signs with what you teach. And just now you made a good answer of that already, because at the end of the day, it all has a piece of the puzzle, and it's a different shade of ourselves to get to
Mhm.
know. And you teach that there's many dimensions that we exist on, and that's really important as well. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your, so you've been since you were a child keeping time, keeping the Mayan day keeper? I'm gonna ask that question, but you've been doing this since you were a child, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I started counting when I was 4 years old, uh, officially. I learned from 0 to 13, I learned the new sciences and philosophies and religions locally to this planet, to this civilization, to this space and time, because in the way of my knowing, this is my 13th lifetime in this planet. Like, if you will, open uh, that viewer opens the mind and spirit to maybe there's a possibility that there are time travelers who have lived countless lives in the future and in the past. And now we're all here to assist humanity to ascend into a space of balance, unity, joy, peace, unconditional love, and galactic harmony. If we just open the mind to the possibility of that, then I've been here 13 times. This is my actual linear 9th time that I'm here. And so it's easier for me to say, uh, good to see you again. You know, let's remember what we have done in the future and then bring it to speed up the process and make little changes to what we have done and make it even better. So that's one of the reasons why I love sharing and teaching about time travel, astral travel, cosmology, astronomy, and astrology all into one way of living, which is the Mayan ways. Most people in the world know that the accuracy of the mathematics of the Mayan people, among other ancient tribes, is pretty accurate up there in the scale. So, I've been very privileged to receive again that knowledge and just putting it all together in a compact uh, pill, if you will, and give it to the masses in a very simple way of language using the local planet language, the local community language, the local family language in a way that people can understand it, but not just understand it, also had to apply it in 3D world in the 3D aspect of society that we walk on. Because I understand a lot of people are talking about 5D, 60, 80, 70, and they even have a scale of who lives in which reality. But it all comes down to this. This spacesuit that we have carrying our spirit is totally grounded by gravity and speed. And so this knowledge, yes, we're boundless when we are the spirit, but we're now combining the mind, spirit, and body. So the applications of the calendars that we share are endless, and that's one of the missions I have to share with people how to use really ancient future knowledge in 3D and the eternal present in everyday life. Yeah.
right? And teaching people how not to abuse the forces of nature, but to go in harmony with it, I think is a really important part of all of this. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the I would say for the last, yeah, maybe 200 years, a lot of people have abused knowledge to control people, to make out of people followers like cults. We'll use that word so people understand what I'm saying. That's not very practical. That is not very nice, and that's not very. You believe in karma. You believe in you pay or you receive what you plant. You receive it back tenfold. Then we have come to a space and time where those paradigms are ceasing to exist, and the new teachings are a lot more conscious. The new children coming into being will have the opportunity to make those changes once and for all. We'll get it right to live in harmony, and that's really what I feel from my part, from my vision, and from my perception is we're all here to get better and harmonize with the elements and with the galaxies. So no abuse of knowledge is tolerated anymore in this new paradigm.
New pair, and what an exciting time to be alive and to witness that and to be a part of it, because we are
Mm.
definitely entering a new paradigm. And speaking of new paradigm, I wanted to there's going to be a video that you're going to show us in a little bit about some of the work that you do with the manifestation stations. But I wanted to bring up a couple things that Jose does. He's actually starting a class teaching the Mayan calendar system. And I think it's about how long is the course going to be?
It's a 9 months course. It's 20 classes. It's bi-weekly every Wednesday at 6:30 starting tonight. Yeah.
Starting tonight, right? So that sounds amazing for people who are interested. And you might not see this for a couple days, but he's definitely someone to train with and learn from. So you can find him on your post. I'll post his info and links below. When you watch this, you can click and check it out as well. And on top of what he's doing with his own personal work and teachings, we are also part of a evolutionary education school called the Fireside Learning Center, or not center, the Fireside Learning um,
Academy.
Academy International. So it is an international school. Like, I'm so excited I can't even talk. It's really incredible because it's the type of schooling that I wish I had as a kid, that really honors the soul. And that's something that you said in our last, group meeting, that you mentioned the importance of honoring the child's soul as they come in. And I would love to you to share what you'll be teaching there and how you got involved with Aaron Golding and how you guys decided to create this school together, and just all your roles in it.
Yeah, this is it's a really cool story. It's like the perfect storm story because both Aaron and I have known each other for a while, and we've been titalizing each other's brains on how to create a school of thought, a mystery school, a Fireside Learning Academy, which she finally gave that perfect name to it. But it all started a very long time ago when she found a necessity of where to put her own child. And then, I have a 4-year-old daughter named Raven who is also in need of schooling. So we set out to do, after brainstorming and careful consideration of what needed to do, we had a concept. And then the perfect storm happened, which is also known as the coronavirus, that destroyed the school system even more than what's already done. So now that the school system is broken, pretty much we have the perfect storm to just share this perfect solution. We are people who not only point the fingers to the issues, but we also come to with concrete solutions. And the Fireside Learning Academy is for sure, if not the best, one of the best solutions we have for the school system that has gone down. And now there's
Speaking of
show.
that, it definitely has gone down. You're getting stuff like this in the mail. I'm sorry, but I just had to put that there. Yeah.
it's, it's so the Fireside Academy is something that is so useful to the children, to the adults, and to the community. And we are setting up uh, pods and bases around the world, starting with the big structures, 144 Mayan calendar Dreamcatcher manifestation stations, where the children will come to learn around the fire. Meet the teachers around the fire, get actual touch with nature, learn the skills to survive, and learn the regular academia, which is still valuable. All the sciences, mathematics, and language are very crucial for children's learning, but also staying in touch with nature is pivotal. And more than anything, sharing spirituality from early age, which is one of the goals of this Fireside Learning Academies have come with. So yes, I got involved because of necessity. We humans, unfortunately, we still become the best creators out of necessity. If we haven't had that necessity, we probably wouldn't have created it. So now it's a thing that we understand fully, and we now practice it more. That we don't have to wait until there is the need for something. We can be creators from the get go, and we can just create every day, every time. Start creating with our smiles and our breathing. So that's how I got involved with that. Out of necessity, we can now have a full-on digital school available.
I guess that's what we call a blessing in disguise, right?
Yes,
And how
yeah.
we turn something that looks like a chaos into some order.
Mhm.
And then what are you teaching there? You're doing trigonometry, sacred geometry. What was your
Yeah, my main concern with the children is teach them the higher mathematics from early age. Let's not wait until they're in university to expose them to trigonometry and geometry, physics, calculus, the higher mathematics, the higher sciences from the beginning, and not forgetting the socializing. Had to stay in touch with themselves, had to go back to center and be happy on their own without having to be the codependency or dependency on someone else. So spirituality is really my niche, my class, my teachings. It's all about remember global spirituality, not necessarily a philosophy or religion, but spirituality where everything is inclusive and nothing is forgotten, and in a way where children have the option. A lot of people are Christian because they had no choice. Their parents made them Christians. A lot of people are they're Jewish or whatever religion you want to call, because their parents made them there. They didn't have a choice. They confuse lineage and DNA with religion, and that's something that most people don't even think about. That there is not such a thing. You can be anything you want because you are a sovereign global citizen of peace. You can be anything you want when you accept the fact that you're a free thinking human being in this universe. And so having the opportunity to children to actually take a broader look to spirituality and then see what resonates with them. That's one of the things that I bring into not just the Fire Silent Academy, but wherever I go. That's one of the things I want to emphasize. You can be anything you want to be, really, in all aspects of life, and you're limitless. The last little bit of fear is gone, and now we realize that people are truly limitless. This space and time is for that. Re-emphasize that in children, and the earlier we learn that, the best a society we can build for each one of us.
limitless love, limitless potential?
Yes.
And that truly is the truth, like limitlessness, because we place limits on ourselves, and I think that's part of the grand illusion is that we're projected on in such a way where we create our own boundary, we create our own limits, we create our own boundaries, and we often put ourselves in our own boxes. And when we can be in the right community that can uplift us and pull us out of that, it's really powerful. So I love your shares. So before we get into the video, can you tell us a little bit about the manifestations? You mentioned you're building 144 of them, but give a little more detail to people how they can really understand. Maybe you can show them a little, you have a couple in the background there of the small versions of your calendar system. and then you can show the video of all the good stuff after that.
Yeah, the it's really interesting to remember who we are, where we come from, and where we're going. But even before you touch on something that's very important there, uh, we are the only ones who stop ourselves. You know, when you go to anywhere in the world and people tell you that you can't do that, or this is too much for you, they're not really telling you, they're giving you a challenge to move beyond that. So we're really the only ones who can stop ourselves. I want to really emphasize that even in the special forces of the finest armies of the world, before they graduate, the instructors are only holding space, and they are the ones who decide to go on or quit. There's nothing really can stop you. Only ourselves can stop ourselves. And that's something very, very important. I feel children should know. All of us should remember that there's no one trying to stop us. We are either making excuses or pointing fingers for us to stop ourselves. And that's just something that I really feel is important for people to remember, especially children. And so, yeah, when they told me I needed to build 144 Mayan calendar Dreamcatcher manifestation stations that will last 100 years, that was like, oh, how am I going to do that? But then through dedication and discipline, I realized that, I knocked enough doors to build the first one, and then the second one, and then the third one. Now we have 11 of them. Uh, there is Mayan calendar manifestation stations that are 30 feet diameter. There are some that are 22 feet. There are some that are 9 feet. They're all different sizes according to the space and location where we are. We accommodate, we adapt. And then we have the Mayan calendar manifestation station portals, which can be this small. This is just 12 inches, you know, and they can be as big as 3 feet, 5 feet, 8 feet, and the biggest one I have is 10 feet. These are part of the teachings of what the dream catchers are for. Dreams are something that can become reality. So this is another part of the things that I teach. When you're dreaming, what do you want to bring into the 3D? You don't want to bring everything you dream about, because you might bring some nightmares into 3D. So the dreaming and weaving of reality, we do that every day when we're sleeping and when we are awake. So bringing the reality into life, to me, we start with the feeling, right? In the past, I felt that we always start with a thought, and then the word, and then making it into reality. And then we have this amazing convergence of angels in the desert with Dr. Sarah Larson and yourself, and many others, Zoe, and um, at the ranch in the desert, where we're going to be back again soon. But in that place, we all remember together that, yes, the thought creates the world, and then the world manifests everything into reality. But before any of that, there is a feeling, right? So from the feeling, we go to the thought, and then the word, and into reality. So these are all available. There was the feeling of happiness when these were first thought of, and then spoken of, and then built into. So right now we have 11 of that are huge buildings without walls, because that represents everyone is welcome, and they are woven in copper on the top, the buildings. And then we have the little ones, the dream catchers, manifestation station portals, which is a science, a technique, a modality of manifesting what we want and what we need to continue being of service. So that's the story on that.
And each of us have a day on on that calendar that you can find out which is one that you were born under.
Yeah, we have what we call the Mayan astrology aspect of finding your cosmic identities. So yes, you start with one, and you quickly multiply into 15 that you can get to know 15 cosmic identities, 15 shades of layers of ourselves that we get to know through discipline and study and actions, really. So these are all of us revolving. There's 425,000 different layers of cosmic personalities, and this is the stuff that we learn about and we remember about and we teach about when we go to the Fireside Learning Academy and to my class tonight and every other Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay, quick question before we jump into that video. When it comes to the Maya and you're talking about the dream, the way I interpret the Maya is the dream. Is that correct?
Yeah, Maya is a world that well, it means a lot of things. I'm pretty sure that that is Hindu Maya, that means illusion. So a lot of people think that in the Mayan world we interpret it about the same way, that we are living in a dream. Uh, in the Mayan world, the Maya is actually a mispronounced word from the actual word that is Mayev, which means people.
Mm.
So we, the people, we are the Mayan, we are the Mayev. Now, if we are considering the very valid Hindi or Hindu tradition, then Maya is the illusion. So yeah, they're both correct. And then, again, this is one of those samples where the different perspectives, different cognition allows us to have different perspectives really on everything. So yeah, Maya is an illusion and Maya is the people. Mayev is the people. Yeah,
Well, yeah, I guess we create our own illusions and we create our own realities, right? So we can
absolutely.
those always.
Yeah,
Wonderful. So why don't you show us the video that you want to share and tell us about it?
yeah. What I want to share is this video of the construction of what we call the Mayan Dreamcatcher Manifestation Station number 3. This was captured by a sister called Gentle Thunder or Anna Chio, however you might come to know her. Here you go. And you're quiet there, and you hear her voice calling out, and you hear your heart beating with the silence, and the peace you find is clear with the wind blowing and the birds soaring and the trees dancing. All life is present here. All life is equal here. Let the love with love from Mother to the heavens above.
One of the things I've missed here is that we have not done a song together. And I would like for us to do a song together just before we lift to provide unity in voice and strength. Does that sound good? Uh-huh. This is a call and response song.
Yeah, thank you to Leah. That song that was singing at the beginning is so amazing. I think it's Portuguese that she was singing. It's just really cool. It's so interesting to see this. Like, It's the past already. We did this. Number 3. Mayan calendar Dreamcatcher manifestation station number 3 about to be up in 3D.
And where is this located?
This is the one located in Reno, Nevada.
That wind.
Yeah,
You don't see the wind until they start to lift.
right.
That's wow.
You know, I love how it shows unity in the community. You know, the wire is copper and it's only 14 gauge. That means it's very malleable, but it can also snap at any time. And the lifting of this thing takes like, a lot of, it's very heavy. So it has to be, there's only one shot to do it right without snapping and, falling on people's head and stuff. So
All right, one more time.
it's really beautiful to see that.
These are the dreams of the universe that we're picking
done
up. Slow and steady. Slow and steady or 3, 1.
I like how the luck is just standing there doing nothing.
Yeah.
But he's the elder, so he can do that. Okay.
Cool to watch. Look at that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I love that it involves the children.
Yeah, that's one of the things. The main thing when the prophecy came in 2012 was this Mayan calendars are for children to come and learn from the elders, and from also for elders to come and learn from the children. Yeah, I remember how emphatically the grandmother from the Mayan lands in Huachactún in Guatemala was saying, it's also for the elders to come and learn from the children. You gotta pay attention to the new children that are coming in from the universe. So amazing.
I can't wait for my son to meet you when he's born.
Yeah, take him to Guatemala, run in the jungle. Yeah, so yeah, thank you for requesting that.
That was wonderful. You know, one thing I'm like really big on, it's funny that you're saying that about children being the teachers, is recently I came across a quote. I can't remember how it went, but it said something along the lines of, when you're younger, it's like beneficial and almost a necessity to have an elder mentor or someone older than you mentoring you. But when you get older, it's a necessity for you to have a mentor that's younger than you. Mm-hmm. And I think that we've been like, this whole respect your elders thing, which is a beautiful thing and it's very true, but at the same time, there needs to be a level of respect for the younger generations too, and what they're bringing and what they're teaching, because they come in with a fresh perspective. And a lot of the times the newer things that are created in the world are created from people stealing from the ideas of younger generation and then selling it back to them. And then they have to like go to school and then like wait all this time to find success when they can find it and do it sooner, and they could be the ones creating it. And I think of the right balance of mentorship with both ways, that it's very powerful and very helpful. So I've always had both mentors, younger and older, in different ways.
Yeah, we all should have that open mind to learn from everyone, but especially from the younger ones and the older ones. So, well, thank you very much for your work and for bringing this together.
Is there anything else you want to share before we close up today?
Yeah, I just want to say that the number one thing we all need to do is really just be in gratitude and in deep love with all the elements for the air we breathe, and just get up and smile every time you can, or all the time if you can. Make an effort to stay in that state of mind where we are grateful and happy. Matthias, thank you very much, Elena.
Thank you. And follow your intuition. When you have an inkling to write a friend out of nowhere, write them a message. The other day, I just randomly reached out to a girlfriend of mine that I never talked to. I like rarely ever talk to her, but like every now and then I'll see her post on Instagram, but something told me to write her, and she's like, wow, you have no idea how much I needed to hear from you today. And so, like you said, just getting up and smiling or taking that initiative to make the world a better place, it has more of an impact than you think. So thank you, Jose. This is just an introduction to this man, and this human. There's much more that we'll get to know. And I hope that you guys can check out firesidelerningacademy.com. I'll put all the information down below of how you can reach Jose, how you can reach me, and how you can connect with the Fireside Academy. Alrighty. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Follow your smiles, follow your intuition, and yes, actions are pivotal to follow the thoughts, make everything happen. Takes action. Thank you.
Bye.